Hello and good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. This is an introduction about your acoustic body. What is it, and actually, what is the acoustic wave? What is this thing that you may have heard about already? And maybe the first question is, who are you as an infinite being? We go back so far, and and like as ecstasy sees you are a being, an infinite being, plus you have a body. And when we say body, the body includes the physical body, and it also includes all the energetic systems, the aura, the chakras, the meridians, and even beyond that. Everything that belongs to the body, it's part of the body, like it's not separated. And the other thing, when we say, like let's say there is a third part, some places they call it the soul. And actually, that is the group of all points of view, judgments, belief systems, like everything. And maybe the biggest problem is that we function from all the points of view, all the belief systems, all the projections, and all the implants. And that makes it so hard to see who we are as infinite beings. Because this is what we get used to. Function from all of that lies, judgments, expectations, beliefs, and projections. So maybe the big question is that, okay, why is it so hard to live my life on a daily basis? One part is that you don't know the amazing capacities you have, and also you like no one educated really you since the very beginning of your life. No one educated about your capacities and how the universe is actually working. And imagine that if you were sort of like, if you've been educated like for 6 or 8 years, as long as primary and secondary school, on these things, because maybe this is the most important and most valuable things in life about how life really works. How can you create anything beyond this reality? Because this reality is full of limitations. This reality keeps telling you that there are only things that you can see with your eyes and with your five senses. But actually, like 90 or 95% of the reality goes beyond your five senses. And like everything around you has energy, everything around you has consciousness, everything around you is like interconnected. Actually, everything is connected to you as well, but your point of view makes your reality. And if your point of view is that you are limited, and your point of view is that you are not capable to do anything, you can only do things that you've been taught and educated on, which is very limited, very few things, then you will sort of like never use your capacities for something greater because you don't even know you have capacities. And one of the big things is that your body is something like a magic stick. So let's say in this reality, everything has an energy, everything has a vibration, everything has, let's say, an information system, an energetic system. And actually, your body is a key to start to communicate with this multidimensional reality, including the physical reality. And would you allow to start to receive your body on this totally different level? To start to recognize that your body is like a magic stick. Like, there is Harry Potter who has a magic stick. But actually, your whole body is like a magic stick. You don't need an additional magic stick because your whole body is capable to communicate energetically and also physically. And when I say physically, it doesn't mean that you can walk somewhere, you can walk to an object and you can touch that object and grab and hold on to that object. No, it's far beyond. With the contribution or with the help of your body, you really can communicate with any object on molecular level. You have the capacity to change physical reality. And big part of this is your body. Maybe you've heard the story about the golden planet. You know, the golden planet is from where all the infinite beings came from, where whatever you were choosing, it's immediately actualized. It showed up. And they say, you know, this golden planet was totally mined out by the techies, so it's disappeared, it's gone. So this reality, this possibility doesn't exist anymore for you. And actually, the amazing thing is that you don't need the golden planet anymore. Because there the planet had the capacity. And actually now you have a body. I would say it's a dormant, a sleeping body, but because we don't really use its capacities. But here, your body can do all the things that on Golden Planet, the planet was capable to do with you. Your body is the key, that magic stick that can really contribute to changing, transforming physical reality around you. So it's really a gift. And are you willing to awaken your body to really and truly allow your body to sort of like show the magic that it's truly be? What is it that, it's really like an adventure that we need to step on and allow all the capacities of the body in all different situations to come to the surface. It requires a totally different approach. And actually, you have a body, but you only use your body like, let's say, how to say, like everyone knows what is a Polski Fiat or a Trabant. So imagine that your body is a Ferrari, but you only use it as a Trabant because you don't know it's a Ferrari. So everywhere you are not aware of its capacities, it will never show you and give you that magical and miraculous reality. So are you willing to receive all the capacities of your body in all dimensions? Are you willing to be in question with your body? Like, really, the body has its own capacities, it has its own awareness, but the terrible part, it's not judging you. It's totally sort of like allow you and your points of view to override its capacities and its own reality. So any point of view you have about the body will make it happen. For example, and I can give you so many examples about this. Like there was an example, we were traveling from New Zealand to China. And it was like the flight started at late night, and I didn't sleep that day. And I was unable to sleep that night. It was like a 10, 12 hours flight. And after that, we were waiting like 2, 3 hours at the airport. And then we had a 2 hours drive to the city. And I was nearly falling asleep. I was terrible. How to say, tired. And then suddenly I had an awareness. So I asked the question, like, truth, is my body tired? Like, you know, all logic said that I have to be totally tired. Even the humidity was so high, it was killing. However, I asked this question from myself, like, truth, is my body tired? And suddenly all the tiredness just gone. And it was really interesting that like all the points of view I had about it made me feel tired, made my body react as being so tired and overwhelmed. But from the moment I was willing to sort of like get rid of these points of view with a question, suddenly it was able to change its own reality within that second. Suddenly, all tiredness, all sensation of being overwhelmed, everything just disappeared and I was fresh, like refreshed. My mind went totally fresh. My body was fresh. I wasn't tired anymore. I was able to keep, talking, thinking, look around and enjoying the trip. And then I also asked the question from myself, like, is there um, is there any possibility to sort of like move with the time zone difference? Because that was like a 4-hour time zone difference. Because next morning I started to facilitate a class, so I wanted to have a good night's sleep and then, sleep at the proper time of the local time zone. And the awareness was, yes, okay. So I also asked myself, so when would it be good for me to go to sleep and wake up? And it was like, okay, 10 p.m., go to sleep, like fall asleep, and then wake up around 6. Good. So we went out that day, walking in the city, enjoying our time. And like 10, 15 minutes before 10, we went back to the apartment or the hotel. And then I started to feel, oh my, now I'm tired and sleep and woke up at 6. So you can, and from some aspects, you may say like it's having total control, like totally capable to organize your life in a level that truly works and functioning from questions. So, and I see there is a question if Margareta can help me to translate, or maybe I just drop it into the, yes.
Napisala sam dole da može da se izabere
Okay.
na onoj traci.
All right. Okay. Hope it works. Thank you. Cool. So, all right. So this is one of the examples that like if you truly willing to ask questions, your body's amazing and miraculous capacity starts to show up. And the way you see your reality, it really has to be changed for this. And this was just one simple example. So if you would willing to ask questions from yourself, from your body, in each and every moment, about your sleep, about eating, about like, going to the gym or any physical education, anything, what would be your awareness and how much it would change the way you get used to using your body and how much it would change the way your body get used to reacting to your lifestyle. So it's all the points of view, it's all the lifestyle and everything that you function from. The other thing is that, like, yeah, it was really strange. Like, yeah. So a few months ago, I mean, it was in January or December, I started to have lots of strange red spots on my skin. I wouldn't say all over the body, but on the arms and the legs. just full of red spots. And I had no idea what is that. And actually doctors were unable to say anything about it. So, but it didn't bother me too much. And then I think, yeah, actually, I started to ask my body because after a while I recognized that maybe something needs to be changed. And then I realized that there are certain kind of foods that have to be cut out. And I didn't ask the reason, what's the reason for that? I was just listening. And after like a month and a half, all of that disappeared. And it wasn't a problem to stop eating this kind of food because there is so many different kind of foods people can eat. So, and the other thing is about food. It was really interesting. I just came up with the idea that I should stop eating for a couple of days, drinking tea, but not eating any food. So I started that. And I started to ask questions every time, like, am I hungry? Am I hungry? Like, which are the different ways and forms that my body could start to receive energy? Is that only from physical food? Or my body can receive energy from anything else? Or actually, how much of the energy is required to come from physically eating something? And started to play with this. And the interesting part was like for 3 days, it was from Sunday afternoon until Wednesday afternoon. I was not eating any food. I was drinking tea. And I didn't have any sort of like sense of hunger. Though, you know, if you're not eating for 3 days in a row, you have to have some kind of hunger. But I was start asking my body, like, do you require food? And would it be a contribution to keep doing this? And it was a big yes. So actually, this whole thing is a continuous adventure with your body, that the body is capable to do much more. And the body's, you know, like fasting is just one thing. But like many years ago, we had like at the very beginning when I was starting to look into what is the acoustic wave, that everything has um, sort of like a blueprint that describes the physical and energetic state of that thing. It can be physical, like something organic, or it can be non-organic. And one day I was playing with the milk, maybe you've heard it, but it was all about that. Like fresh milk has one kind of acoustic wave. So acoustic wave is not right or wrong. It just describes a certain state. And it was describing the state of the fresh milk. And in the fridge, we had, you know, sour milk because it went beyond the expiry date by 1 week. So it was smelling terrible and it was sour. And I also wanted to drink coffee. So I was holding it in my hand and I had the awareness that, okay, sour milk as well has its own sort of like energetic blueprint. So we just need to ask for the blueprint, let's say the acoustic wave of the fresh milk with no points of view. And suddenly, as a body process, it started to run through the bottle of milk. And I was holding it in my hand for like 5 minutes, and it was running that energy very firmly and intensely. And after 5 minutes, the process finished. Okay, opened the bottle again, smelled it. Oh, it has a different smell. Now it smells good. And then tasted it. Oh, it tastes good. So if it smells good and tastes good, and actually, then it's not sour milk anymore. So you can sort of like transform it. And everything, like then I started to have clients who had all kinds of problems with their body and started to work on their bodies and let's say changing or exchanging how their kidney works or how different organs or processes in the body works and asking for the healthy acoustic wave. It's not about it's right or wrong. It's just a different state. So there is no judgment and no point of view. Not looking into what was my emotion or what was my thing that made or caused illness in that part of the body, but change the description, the way it was built. It was built by you based on your points of view or whatever, or you took it over from someone, but you can change it. And really these are miraculous healings because things can change from one moment to another. Like when we were in, I think it was in St. Petersburg, there was a lady who had, like when she was like 6 or 8 years old, her eyes, like her brother, like stick a pen into her eye, into the eyeball. So half of the eyeball had to be replaced with a piece of crystal. Of course, she didn't see anything. She only saw some kind of light, but no shape, no form, no colors. And she was at the class, at the acoustic body class, and she asked to work on that because she would like to improve her vision. And we were working on that and also working on her points of view. And what happened, like after a 15-minute session, she started to see colors and shapes with that half crystal eye. So it's miraculous because it's really possible. And after it's possible, it's not miracles anymore. And this is what I would like everyone to start to recognize, that there are no limitations, there are no boundaries. Material, physical, or organic, or non-organic, everything can change. Like the first time when we were facilitating the acoustic body class in Beijing, after the first night, my laptop just shut down and I was like unable to switch on. Anytime I switched on, it gave me an error message that the fan that is cooling down the processor is not working. Therefore, the laptop will shut down for safety because that doesn't want to cook the processor. And I had no idea what they had to do with it. So I was using the usual technique. I go to sleep, maybe it's just a bad dream, and by the morning everything will be fine. And it didn't work. By the morning, nothing was fine and it was not working. So I replaced the battery. I tried the, other things like smashing it to the table, but nothing really happened. It didn't happen. And then I realized, so it says the fan is wrong. So let's say a malfunctioning fan, again, it has its own acoustic wave. But there is a properly functioning and working fan. It also has its own energetic blueprint. So let's ask for that. And I was running that energy on that. And we get into the taxi, get to the location, had to open it again because at that time I was using the laptop to record the audio. And da-da, it was working. And after that, it was working like 5 more years until I bought another one and never gave me that error message again. So it's not just and also I was talking to someone and he was asking like, what have I done? Because he just bought a cell phone and for some reason after like a few months the speaker was giving that scratchy noise like it's damaged. And then I told him this, and he was putting his hands on it and asking for the properly working speaker's acoustic wave. And within a few minutes, the process gone. And again, it was working like never before. So you can work on anything, but will you sort of like, are you willing to? So let's say, open up the box of Pandora. Are you willing to get on this journey of which will be an amazing adventure? And you can, you can take this whole thing into any direction you desire. Like you can work with your own body and see how you can heal your body, in which way. You can work with your clients. Like there was a guy who was something like a chiropractor or something like that, or manual therapy. Yeah. And his problem was that like he was working like 5 days a week, 8 to 5, every 30 or every 50 minutes, a new client. So and he said it's really tiring. And he would like to somehow change it, make it easier for himself, for his body. And then, like, he attended the class from Friday to Sunday, and then Monday he went back to work. And he had a client, and with the client, so the client had something like very stiff muscles. The calf muscle was so stiff, like the client came back to him for 6 months, like on a weekly basis, to release that muscle. But it always went back, and it took him like a lot of time every time to release that. And at that time, he just placed his hands on that muscle and asking for the acoustic wave. And he said, like, even the client sensed that his muscles, like, transforming and molding, and like hot butter. And it happened within a few minutes. And each and every client he had that day, he finished with them, like he had that breakthrough within 5 minutes. But they booked like a 40-minute session. And he said, like, he gave me a call, like, this is my problem now. Like, how will I charge money for the people if I finish within 5 minutes? This is a new problem, but I think it's a sweet problem. And yeah, start to ask questions, and you will see what you can do. Cool. Anyone has a question? Like, for me, most of the time it's about the body, because I'm most interested about really miraculous healings, healing the body, working with the body, and figure it out in which many ways the body can change, transform, improve, and so on. But also it has a part that working with and sort of like recognizing what is choice, because choosing has a lot to do with what is the space you are functioning from. Because each and every space also described by, let's say, one acoustic wave. Like, if things are not going very well for you, that's also sort of like its own energetic reality. Just like a sour milk. You don't have to like sour milk, but you can ask for fresh milk and apply that energy and that description and that sort of blueprint. The same way, what is the acoustic wave for the lifestyle that you desire to have? And would you be willing to run it on your life? What is the acoustic wave of the relationship that you desire to have? And would you be willing to run it on your relationship? Or what is the financial reality that you desire to have and ask for that acoustic wave and run it on your financial reality, whatever is that. And these are just a few examples when it's not about material, it's rather about a situation or a mental state or a reality. So there are so many directions you can go with this information, with all the tools and all the techniques. And and actually it's all based on your personal interest. How would you like to use it? And what is the direction that you want to go with this? And, have your own adventure. Okay. So, do we have a question? Or many questions or no questions? Anyone?
Može li Roko da nam kaže malo o telesnim procesima na samom tečaju?
Okay. I think this is what we discussed until now. Okay. So, yeah. Shall I start? Okay, now, cool. So regarding the class, so it's a 3-day class and we have amazing body processes. And one of the body process is about, one of the body processes is opening up the space of infinite possibilities. And also there is like through that, yeah, I mean, actually, so we have like 4 body processes at the class. One is really about applying the acoustic wave itself. Another one is about opening up the infinite possibilities. Another one is about going beyond your limitations. Because how many times do we stop ourselves because of we are incapable to think beyond what we get used to? So actually, what is the reality that we function from, that if we would change, if we could get out of that, everything could change around us. Like we could totally function from a different reality that would work. And when you have clients who have really serious problems, then you really need to go outside of your limitation. So anything that doesn't allow you to think beyond your limitations, will you now destroy and uncreate, eliminate, and eradicate for eternity? Right and wrong, good and bad, for them, all 100 shorts, boys, poets, basis, creations, and beyond. And also, one of the things with the body processes is that polarity. Because anything that you maintain based on making it significant, based on making it right or wrong. So you actually give polarity to it. And in order to get rid of it, you have to melt it down. And when you get rid of the polarity, the whole thing falls apart because nothing will keep it in place anymore. This is also one of the body processes of getting rid of all polarities that holds that illness, that point of view, that reality in place. So anything that keeping your fears, your limitations, your illnesses, your financial state, your problems with your life, with your relationship in place, are you willing to get rid of the polarity of all of that and have ease, joy, and glory instead? You also have many topics like the first day of the class, we talk about all the different ways you sort of like all the different ways you build and create your body. And actually, most of the ways are not by us, but by people around us. Like allowing your body to mimic them or allow yourself and your body to be programmed by people around you. And it's really amazing when we do these exercises on the first day, and then people overnight, when they come back to the class next day, on the second day, they report like how many things have changed or disappeared or transformed overnight because all those things that were sort of like holding that state of the body in place, that has just gone. And therefore the body was able to change because your body can change so like immediately. It can recover like immediately. From the moment you give up your points of view, you give up the polarity with which you maintain that state for the body, it can change itself. It can heal itself. It can function amazingly. What? Oh yeah. What else do we do? Right. Uh, yeah, we have so many topics which is about sort of like to change the way how you see this reality. So like we talk about what is free will, because that's always a big question. Like, how can I create something if that sort of like counter other people's will or choices? That's a really big and really cool topic. Also, what is the difference between the acoustic wave and the acoustic vibration? Like, when do I use this, or what is the purpose of the wave, and what is the purpose of the vibration, and how to use that? Also, we talk about awareness, about knowing, about choice, also about your embodiment, like changing or working with your body. Of course, we talk a lot about miraculous healing. And of course, we run these processes on each other during the class to sort of like activate or awaken all the capacities of your acoustic body. Because actually, your body can work and function in this, let's say, everyday usual reality. But also your body can function from the state of the acoustic body, which is from choice, which is from infinite possibilities, which is from the possibility to transform and change anything. Okay, and I see there's a question. has a question. Sorry, yeah. If you can, please unmute yourself.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Rocco. Practically, actually, I was, let's say, receiving this process a few times, and my body like felt rejuvenated, fantastic, and all of this. One of my questions would be if it's possible to go beyond after this class, let's say, just doing on yourself. Second question is, can we use this process and to expand our businesses? And the third question would be, if you have the time, how did you develop this class, this process? Was this somehow like a process ongoing through all the other tools and something was missing, or what was the story behind it? If you have time, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So the first question was?
If we can go beyond this first
Yes.
step feeling after receiving the class by just working on ourselves, like to improve this daily.
Cool. Yeah, thank you. So there are many ways, like many directions we can go beyond, like advance on this journey. Because if we just look into the, let's say, the reality of the body, it has like a life curve. As you are young, your body keeps developing. It goes upwards. It becomes stronger, bigger, older, all kinds of processes is just developing. And after a certain age, you reach the maximum capacity of the body, and then it stays on that level, sort of like. And at a certain age, it starts to decrease. And at a certain point, it decreases very quickly, like within a few years. And this is a point of view. This is matching this reality. And you don't have to belong to this reality or anyone else's reality. Like if you can heal your body, then you can even go beyond. And for most of the time, people's point of view is that if I'm healthy, if I'm flexible, that's the maximum capacity of the body. But what if this is just the starting point for the body, and the body can go even further? But we never told the body, and no one told us that the body can have something greater than this. This is also a possible journey to start to ask questions of what my body can do beyond this, beyond everything that I ever learned or known or experienced. What is it that my body is capable to be and do? Like one of the things, like we have this exercise during the class, start a conversation with your body that how long it can live. Like, can it live longer than 80 years, 100 years, and so many hundreds of years? And it's so amazing, like what kind of numbers are coming up for people. Many, many hundreds. And you know, we keep clearing the points of view of why would be necessary to die, why it's not really helpful or it's not really good to live that long, and so on. And the body keeps responding that it's capable to live longer and longer and longer. And some people are afraid of overpopulation of the planet and so on, but who will choose this part? So it's also an exciting direction. Also about capacities of the body, like one part of like, you know, like healing ourselves and healing others, like as a healer and practitioner, playing with this and have your own adventure of how far you can go, how many things you can do. And it's not just about like the hands-on healing or hands-on processes, but also from distance. Like what have we decided about the need for touch? And when you can use it as a real tool, the need for touch, not as a point of view. Like you can sense, like in this case, it creates greater and their body would require to be touched. Then you have to do it that way. But sometimes you don't have to do it that way. It's rather about functioning from your awareness. And a lot of people suddenly turns into that direction that, okay, it never requires touch and I will always do it from distance because that is much advanced situation. No, it's rather about what is your awareness and choose based on that. And so there are many, many directions we can go. And another question you had about how can you use on your business? And there is this process we playfully run that's asking for the acoustic wave of the multi-million-dollar global business and have that acoustic wave and run it on your business. I mean, you can have, you can ask your own combination of this. Yeah, what is the type of business you would like to have? And just see for yourself that if you run this on your business each and every day, then what change can show up. Like we also apply this whole thing about acoustic wave and different realities through many examples. Like during the class, we talk about really how to use it on your business and how you can apply it. So it's not just applying on physical things, but let's say in energetic realities like your business. And yeah, and the third question was about how this whole thing came up. Like when I became a CF, then it was like, that's a 5-day certified facilitator training. And that was at that time in 2016 in Noosa. And Gary and Dane was standing on the podium and telling everyone that, guys, now you are the certified facilitators. And there are a couple of topics that they, like Gary and Dane, can dig deeper, like their specialties. But they said, like, find what is your specialty and dig deeper in that area and bring it to the surface and give it to the people. Like, give them what is your awareness, what you become aware of, because this is why you are a certified facilitator with this capacity. And then I started to ask questions like what I really should do. And had no other idea, just opened up the foundation manual. And at that time, there was one sentence that something like activating the acoustic wave of your body or something like that, or generative acoustic wave for your body. Yeah, asking for the generative acoustic wave of the body. But there was no description, no information. Like at that time, there was no such any kind of information about what is the acoustic wave. And then I started to ask this energy or this quality or whatever it was to run on my body. And I was playing with this for 2 weeks. And I started to have different kind of awarenesses, like when I was having a shower, when I was having a rest or relaxing or anything, just insights about what is this started to show up. And then, of course, I started to ask questions like in which many ways I can use it. What are those life situations or how to use it? And clients started to show up. So I was able to practice it on them and see what is this like and how it looks like in a real life situation when you have a client. And also there was that thing like when I was asking like, actually, if we use it on the body, like how many points of view do we have about the body, that how long the body can live? And what is actually behind this? And then there was this situation. I went for running in the morning, and there is this religious group. They go and knock on the door. You know, like 2-3 people walks and they want to give their kind of Bible or whatever. And when I got home, they just arrived to my doorstep, and they just gave me a pamphlet. And on the front, there was this sentence: we know the answer to infinite living. No, this is what I was looking for. And they gave me a document that they know it and they have it. And there were like 2 passages from the Bible marked. And I looked it up on Google because I didn't have the Bible at home. And it was about it was about the passage of how they sort of like sent out or kicked out Adam and Eve from the paradise, from heaven. And they said like, you know, like they were eating from the tree of knowledge. And then they started to see that, you know, they are naked. And they started to feel wrong for being naked. Before that, everything was fine. But actually, it wasn't knowledge. I would say what happened, it was eating from the tree of judgments. Because from that very moment, they started to judge themselves and each other. And this is why all the shit started to happen. But, you know, just we don't have to be religious if we don't want to be. It's just reflecting on then judgment is so powerful, let's say, destructive energy that it can distract the health, the power of your body, the way your body would work, and the way your body can always recreate itself. So what would it take to get rid of all the self-judgment, all the different ways how we neglect and don't care about the body? Yeah, and and there was also a time when we were preparing for the first big class overseas, which was that was in Beijing. Like we had like 24 people at that time at the class. And it was really amazing because the first time I was talking about the acoustic wave, like 10 minutes or 5 minutes before the intro, the power went down in the whole street. Like at that time we were living in New Zealand, and like there was already dark over there. So we had to quickly light candles around the table. And I was using my mobile phone to hotspot internet into the laptop. But there was no power, no lights. The mobile phone was working. The laptop had a battery, so it was working. But for some reason, no one was able to hear the translator, like the Mandarin translator. Like we didn't hear her, the people didn't hear her, but she was there. She was speaking. And then we started to run clearings. Like we had an awareness that something is blocking this, and started to clear all kinds of need for blocking such information, to block this intro. And after running these clearings for 3 minutes, we get to a point where it's okay. The whole thing is cleared. And when we said the last words of the clearing statement, then suddenly the voice of the translator just appeared. And from that moment, everyone heard the translator. And so we were running this intro, And when we get to the end of the introduction, and we were talking about something that was about the travel and that we are going to Beijing. So it was really not about what is the acoustic wave and how it works. It was the end of the discussion. At that moment, power came back in the whole street at our home. And it was really strange that this limitation, this block was only for that period when we are talking about the main essence of the acoustic wave. And so after that introduction, we started to ask questions like, what was this? And what came up, that there was an entity blocking it. You know, the first idea, clear the entity. But imagine that if there is such entity that has the capacity to create such block, then maybe we need to have a conversation. Like, what is the reason? What is the purpose to block it? What does it really want? And what came up that it's some sort of a guardian angel entity of the planet. And this kind of information was given to the planet many times before. And people were abusing it, and it always ended up like collapsing the population, the civilizations, and everything. And what the request was of this entity that we have to run clearings before each and every introduction and have to be able to communicate this essence at least at the 80% level of how to say clarity. So people has to be able to receive this information, if not the 100%, but at least 80%. Maybe you've heard about that. Oftentimes they say this, if there is like a demonstration or there is a talk, a speech, people only can receive 7%. If you listen to like an introduction or a course or an event, you can only take 7% because there is meta communication, there is energetic communication, there are all different layers of communication. People can't really receive it. So they have to listen back many times or watch it again and again, or they really have to be totally present in all these energetic and mental and different dimensions to totally receive it. And it was really amazing that after this, anytime when we were running this introduction, and if we forget to run these clearings, it was blocked. Like sometimes it was blocking the internet, or it was switching off the mobile phones or the laptop, or something was always crashing if we didn't run clearings. So it was running for quite some time. Because after that, we started to sort of like download this information into the planet Earth's energetic memory, which is sort of like feeding people, or people can connect to it. And it started to support this whole, let's say, topic. Yeah, so actually this is the origin or the beginnings. Yeah, hi, Marietta. Gotcha. Yes.
Thank you. I have another question. So you said that China and all this, do you still count how many, not participants, but practices of this process are there in the world?
Yeah. Sorry, Alan, can you please repeat, because you didn't.
That's why I said that you did this internationally, wide world, and my question was, let's say, how many practices of this process is there in the world?
What do you mean? How many?
Like a number. This was like some information question that popped up.
You mean
how
many times it showed up?
How many people educated to, let's say, do this process? The acoustic. Mhm.
I think we didn't reach 500 yet. We are not yet there, I think. Sort of like close, but not yet there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Actually, we built a website where each and every acoustic body practitioner can be uploaded, like their photo, their location, their contact details. So people could look it up and see where, if they would like to have a taster or they would like to have a private session, then they just need to sort of like contact the person. So this is also a possibility, of course. There is no fee for this. It's a contribution for the people, for the work. Yeah. So actually, this is the class we are going to facilitate in Rijeka in this September, the 26th to the 28th, if I remember properly. Yes, so it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And inviting everyone, please come and join and have fun and start to have your your awareness of what is really possible with your body and with this whole environment. Like, are you willing to and ready for sort of like melt down this whole reality? Like everything in this reality that doesn't support or contribute to the capacities of the infinite being that you truly be. Okay, are you choosing to melt down this whole thing? And it really includes everything. It really includes all areas and all layers of this reality. You can say the financial reality, you can say the politics, you can say anything, or the healthcare system, or the media, and you can have your own interest. What is it that you would like to change in the world? Because actually the world can be changed. So there is this space. It's like when we talk about at the class the kingdom of we, and what is a contribution? Running a contribution process from the kingdom of we. And this is sort of like a universal layer. If you talk about different states of consciousness, like there is, let's say, the personal state, which is the state of the ego, in other words. You have beliefs, you have judgments, you have points of view. Of course, from that state, it wouldn't be wise to make any change, and therefore you can't. And as you go and step up, and as you get to the level of like a global or a universal level of consciousness, from that space, you can easily create a shift, even globally. Like, again, back to that class in Beijing. On the third day of the class, we had the miracles healing, let's say, session. Like, we chose someone who wanted to change their body or something, an illness, and then there was a lady who had problems with her eyesight. Like she was wearing very, very thick glasses. And she didn't see clearly to the distance, and she didn't see clearly like for reading. Though she was just something like 30, 32 years old. And long story short, cleared first the thing that was the distance seeing, and then she took off the glasses. Wow, now I can see clearly to the distance. Then was the next process, which was about what's causing the problem with her reading. We cleared that one, and what came up that like she went through like a sexual abuse when she was a child, and that thing happened from this distance, like as you read a book, and this is something what she logged into the body, and then we cleared that part as well, and then she was able to read. So her whole eyesight was sort of like healed, recovered within like 15-20 minutes. And then we were sending contribution to change this situation about sexual abuse to kids. And then it was Sunday, and then that night we left China, we went back to New Zealand. And then the next morning we started to receive lots of messages from the people who attended the class. And they said, suddenly it became visible in the media, like there was like a breakup of a big news that at some of the kindergartens, they recognized suddenly that the teachers or the people was sexually abusing kids. And now the police, the government, and all agencies are focusing on this thing in everywhere in China. And they are clearing this out from the whole country. Like they were so ready to change this. And maybe you know that like there is a really high level censorship in China. So if this went viral in China, so they really changed it. And the next year we went to Taiwan. And when we appeared in Taiwan, the local people said, yes, it even went to Taiwan, this effect and this whole kind of clearing of checking and sort of like checking the backgrounds and all stories in each and every kindergarten and each education institutes. And they cleared out this kind of a sexual abuse and harassment and any kind of that from all of these institutes, even there in Taiwan. So, and others said it went through in other parts of Asia as well. So there are many ways how people can contribute in such a huge level. As an infinite being, you have much greater powers to change the world. You are not a single person anymore. You are an infinite being who are connected to infinite power and infinite possibilities. And actually, this is the state of being that I would like to invite everyone into this space, into this knowing, into this consciousness, and what change it can bring to the world. Cool. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for the amazing translation, Margareta, and for organizing that. Thank you for Dragana and Vesna as well, and for all the amazing questions you had. And as a reminder, the class is on the 26th to the 28th of September, the last weekend in Rijeka, and we will come back with more details. But if you have any question, feel free to ask the ladies, Margareta or Vesna or Dragana, and who else would join us and add more to this class. And yeah, who would like to be part of the creation and who would like
Evo
to...
i Alen iz Slovenije.
Oh, Alan, thank you so much. So also in Slovenia, please turn to Alan. Thank you.
Hello.
I'm so grateful. Thank you for that. And what else is possible now? Cool. And as we mentioned, that thank you for everyone who registered, because we will send out the recording to all of them so they can listen back and watch it back. And Yeah. So have a lovely night and day, and in which many ways you can change your life, and in which many ways it would be a contribution if you join us, the class in Rijeka. So we will also send out a registration form. So please come and join us, and let's change the world. Thank you,
Hvala,
lady.
hvala.
Thank you, Ellen. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Hvala
Voila.
svima.
Voila. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.